It is exciting times right now. We've got such a product line that can be used right around the world, and that's what we're going to be taking the company. And it's an exciting night tonight because I have two of my favorite people on the line with me, Russ Bianchi, our formulator, and Dr. Ben Bowers from Wichita. So good evening, Russ, and where are you tonight?
Good evening, Pat. Hello from the field. Just landed and was in a meeting with about 300 people here in Lexington, Kentucky this evening. So hello from Kentucky.
Well, hello to Kentucky. And Dr. Ben, how are you doing tonight?
Good evening, Pat. Good evening, Russ. I'm doing wonderful from the great state of Kansas.
Well, tonight I'd like to really get into the meat and potatoes of how the Moringa can really benefit our body. And so I'm going to let you guys, with a little coaching back and forth from me, let's talk about what is so powerful about the Moringa oleifera.
I guess I'll go first and let Ben chime in. This is, as Fred mentioned, the National Institute of Health and Medicine plans for the arrest, reversal, and mitigation of over 300 issues and diseases. That's them saying it, not us. We don't diagnose, treat, prevent, cure, mitigate, or prescribe, but we are delivering the most nutrient-dense botanical known to science, and we're delivering it in enzymatically or bioavailable form that's delivering over 46 anti-carcinogens and antioxidants, all your vitamins and minerals, which have been systematically stripped from an industrialized and dumbed-down food and beverage chain, huge levels of omega-3, 6, and 9, 36 anti-inflammatories, all the amino acids, including 9 essential that simply aren't in other food sources anymore. The real issue here in the processed food and beverage around the world now is we are overfed, taking in too many calories. We are undernourished because they've been refined and processed to not have those nutrient values anymore, and then we've become overdrugged. We're consuming over 3 times the prescription drugs per capita that we just did maybe only 25 years ago. So that's the problem, but we are solving it with simple wellness via real absorbable nutrition. Ben?
Yeah, Russ, you're absolutely right. The beauty that I look at from this is simply from my position and being in the field here is I've had the opportunity to see literally over 1,000 people what this product can do for them. Now, though I'm in a unique position to see that, what's even more nourishing to me is that this product has been around, or at least this tree has been around for literally thousands of years. And when I have studied the research that's behind this tree, I mean, we're talking about things that was back before the time of Christ that we have known about this tree. So for centuries, people have looked at this tree for just basic and complete nutrition that they can get from taking it. Well, as Russ was just talking about, when we look at all the problems that we're dealing with in America today, unfortunately, I get to see majority of those conditions. I treat people from all around the country and around the world, and people that I look at and I watch and I monitor, I say, what do I have available to actually try to reverse and change the degradation that's occurred within their bodies? So we start looking at what happens from the actual processes of what the lack of nutrition does and how the lack of absorbability and the lack of digestibility, what it does to the bodies. And as Uncle Russ was just talking about there, we see that this dummied-down food, this stuff that is just, basically spiced-up cardboard, if you will, or something along that line, that's dead food. We're trying to consume this food and get health out of it. There is no vitality literally left in some of the processed food that we consume. As we've said for years, don't ever shop in the middle of the store, shop around the edges. And because you need live food to get live nutrients into your body. I mean, folks, this is a live body that requires live energy, not dead energy. And when we consume food that is dead, how can the body get life out of it? It tries its best, it tries to break it down and utilize it, but we're destroying the very first phase of what is necessary in our body, and that is the ability to digest foods. If you cannot digest anything that's dead, how are you ever going to give you any building blocks to keep you alive? So the process then that starts happening is we can't digest it, we can't absorb it, we can't assimilate it, we can't live. So therefore, all these diseases that come on. When we look at Moringa Moringa oleifera and what it does, we see why it gets rid of those 300 different conditions or diseases that people all around the world are experiencing once they've gone to the standard American diet or the Western diet. When they start eating things that are no longer alive, they become ill and they start getting sick. And as I start going back through and looking at all the research that's behind this, literally almost 4,000 different articles so far that we've looked at and gone through, and we look at all the properties that the Moringa does for our body, that becomes phenomenal. I mean, how many of us want to slow down the aging process? How many of us want to slow down the attacks from bacteria, the viruses, the fungus, the mold, the heavy metals, the toxicities? How many of us want to get rid of diabetes? How many of us want to get rid of cancer? How many of us want to get rid of degeneration diseases? And all these processes that our foods are doing to us, that's where Moringa comes in. And when we can start getting rid of inflammation, when we can start getting rid of the actual degradation of the body, and we boost up the immune system, we start bringing back healthy digestion, we start bringing back mental clarity, energy, all these factors, we see phenomenal results from people taking a product that is so easy to take and just start reversing some of the damage that we've been doing to ourselves. So those are some things I like about it.
Awesome. Okay. This is, so far discovered, the most nutrient-dense botanical. Russ, what is in this plant that, helps us of all those things that Dr. Ben just talked about?
Well, we talked about all your vitamins and minerals, and not just at RDI levels. 100% of RDI is nothing more than warding off scurvy or rickets and base malnutrition. We're delivering this at much higher levels from the botanical, the leaf puree, the fruit puree, the seed cake, the cellulose, the fiber, the nutrients that we mentioned in amino acids, anti-inflammatories, anti-carcinogens, antioxidants, omega-3, 6, and 9 that are absorbable from a plant form, not fish oils, not flaxseed, and these other things. And if they work, people will be getting results. The bottom line here in America and around the world with industrialized food chains is we're consuming almost, in fact, more than double the calories we did in the mid-1960s, but receiving somewhere in the neighborhood of 80% less absorbable nutrients. Ben is absolutely correct. We need live foods. Plants cure, drugs kill. It's that simple. We're in a reactive protocol where the food is harming us, and then we're drugged up, or we're radiated, or we're cut, or it's some reactive protocol to something that's already broken, but the reason it's broken is the nutrients aren't there anymore. We used to drink whole raw milk. Now they tell you to drink 1%, 2% skim, reduced low-fat, fat-free, dumbed-down stuff with no nutrients in it, no D3 in it. That's the problem. Moringa delivers the solution, and the only standardized Moringa in the world is from Zija International of the correct varietal. There's 58 different species and varietals of Moringa around the world. All of them are different. All of them have different nutrient values. There are very good tasting ones. You can buy them in Filipino markets in Hawaii and Los Angeles, but when you assay their nutrient value, it's nowhere near what we're using in Zija. And so the difficulty to this project was, how do we make this palatable? How do we keep this enzymatically alive? That took a long time and a great deal of effort and capital to deliver what is today's Zija. The name's even interesting. Pharma's wanted Moringa for its zeatin and its quercetin for decades. The Z in Zija is from that, zeatin. And the IJA is the Sanskrit name going back thousands of millennia, or thousands of years, I should say, for the horseradish tree, hence the name, Zija. It's complete from Z to A, but it actually gets into your body.
Excellent. Ben, Dr. Ben, there's so many vitamin pills on the market, and they all say that, they're going to help us and they're going to deliver it. What is the biggest difference between our product and that?
Two things I would look at, Dr. Patty, and simply this. First of all, do you have a system that is capable of absorbing and assimilating those nutrients? And if they are not plant-driven or naturally organically driven from food or actual substances that our body needs, in other words, they're not synthetic, they're not produced in a lab somewhere, if you don't have the availability to break that down, A, you cannot break it down. B, if you do break it down, does your body actually absorb into it? We have known for years, decades, that things that are natural, that have what we call the phytonutrient base or the phytonutrient substance with it, they get into the system further and have a lot better effect than anything that man can make or even produce. Even though we can take normal vitamins, we're able to break them down and we know their substrate and we can create them, they will not do what something that is natural will do. As Uncle Russ was just saying, when you look at what Moringa is and you look at what we have within here, how the body is designed to actually use this food source as a fuel, nothing even comes close to it. When we look at the body and we understand that it needs very specific entities that it can utilize to rebuild and repair itself and energize itself, what else is out there? Now, supposedly we're supposed to eat our fruits and our vegetables, and supposedly we're supposed to get all that from that. But how many of us in today's society are actually doing, as Uncle Russ said back, what we did in the early 60s and early 70s? We don't do that anymore. We're living in a fast-paced, aggressive world where we're eating on the run. We're not eating what we're wanting. We want convenience, and we want it right now. We want it quick. We just consume it. That stuff is not enzymatically alive, and therefore you do not get the necessities of what you need to repair and regenerate yourself, let alone to give you real energy. Of all the things that I do when I study patients and I go through and I look at their conditions and what's going on, the biggest problem that we have is people are not getting energy out of their food. The biggest reason is because they're not eating real food. Here's where Moringa is so much better. We are leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. First, we have the most nutrient-rich plant on the planet. Nothing even comes close. Not even within 50% of what this product actually produces. So we are way ahead of everybody else. I don't care whatever kind of drink you think you're drinking, fruity or otherwise, nothing comes as close. And the research proves that, not us saying it. The research, there are over 200 different research labs in the world that have all looked at this. Every one of them are telling us that this is the most nutrient-rich substance on the planet. So therefore, in the right enzymatically alive state, in its ability to actually get in and to be absorbed, what I love what Uncle Russ and his team of 17 scientists did here is they made sure that they kept it alive and they kept every aspect of it so it goes past the body's inability to digest food. And when I look at all the problems as an internist and functional medicine specialist that I am, when I look at all the problems that are going on in this world, we've lost digestibility. We create malabsorption syndrome, and this product goes past that. It goes right down into the duodenal area, gets absorbed into the system. 95+% of this is absorbed. So therefore, we have the nutrients on board that our body needs, that it can use, and that it will utilize to repair itself. Now we got to get into assimilation. Now we got to get in and start cleaning up the blood and make this work. No other product out there can do this, Dr. Pat, and that's what I love about this. It cleans the systems. When we start talking about the circulatory system, the viscosity of the blood, when that gets all junked up, how can you pump anything good through that if it's all junked up? Then when we look at the liver and the hepatotoxicity that occurs, if you can't clean that out, how are you ever going to repair and regenerate this system? This product does all that. With all the antioxidants, all the anti-inflammatories, all the antihypertensive, all the antifungal properties, and hepatotoxicities, everything that we need to clean ourselves up, repair ourselves, boost ourselves, and energize ourselves is in this one product. And nobody can even come close to that.
Excellent. I know nobody can. And in fact, aren't there a lot of juice companies out there saying that they're doing all this? What's the difference between them and us?
They're dead. We're not. They are deionized, stripped, concentrated, acidified, cooked to death. There's no nutrient values in them. They're not enzymatically alive. They're glorified sugar water in expensive, fancy bottles. That's all they are. It's not going to help, and the proof is we are an evidentiary-based company. We deal in results. Those that stay on this product 90 days stay on it forever. We don't have to talk about it. The evidence, like Ben said, in hundreds of labs has already verified what we're doing. But we have Dr. Howard Fisher on the line tonight from Toronto, an anti-aging specialist who's just come out with a new book. Howard, are you available?
I'm available, Russ. How are you? And Doctor, how are you?
We're all doing fine.
Oh, no, it's going to be one of those doctor things. Okay. Howard, tell us about your new book, please.
Well, basically, as Dr. Ben has been saying here, there's a lot missing. And I've tried to tie it together from the nutritional perspective to exactly what it is that we have as an amino-active, nutritionally beneficial nutrient that everyone else claims to have but doesn't have. But what we have with the amino acid profile in Moringa can bring to the body to restore is tied together very simply for everyone to read. There's probably 500 plus footnotes in it. It doesn't take a great deal of time, but it takes the worry out of having to explain to someone what this is. It's just, here, read the book. You want to know the relationship to heart disease? It's here. Immune system? It's here. You want to know the relationship to every health issue? I've covered most of them because this is such a comprehensive plan. You probably can't cover all of them in a book that, you don't have to lift with a wheelbarrow.
Where do we get the book? What's the name of the book, Howard?
The book is Moringa oleifera, Magic, Myth, or Miracle. It's available at www.themoringabook.com, or I think there's a link on oneteamworldwide.com as well.
What Dr. Howard was just talking about, Moringa oleifera is nature's medicine cabinet. However, it's a natural medicine cabinet, not the medicine that we're thinking about. This product, this tree, actually helps us heal ourselves. Howard, great job, man. Great job.
Yep.
Thanks very much.
Yep. Give the body what it needs and let the body fix itself.
Amen.
So,
84% of all chemical drug pharmacology comes from botanicals. They don't want you to know that. We wouldn't even have aspirin in America if a pioneer hadn't observed a Plains Indian chewing on white willow bark saying it was good for headaches. They don't want you to know that live plants are your best opportunity to live well past your 100 years and know everybody and, not be in some delusional or dementia state, which is, how come there was no dementia and Alzheimer's when I was a kid? Yeah, Grandma at 95 might be a little senile, but they ate real food. They had real fat. They got real vitamin D3. If we took a head of spinach in 1958 and assayed it for its nutrient value, you'd have to eat 40 of them today. I don't know about you guys. I'm not a goat. I'm not a cow. I'm not eating 40 of anything. But if I can get everything in a little green can or a sachet from the most nutrient-dense botanical, hello, Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dr. Ben, we're talking about the pure mix or the smart mix or the Zija drink, smart drink. Can anybody take this?
Absolutely. The smart drink, the original drink, as they were talking about, and the smart mix itself, anybody, if you can eat food, you can take that drink. It's absolutely beneficial. And I have started my grandchildren at 30 days of age, and I have people over 100 years of age, patients over 100 years of age on this product. Anywhere along that, any disease process, anything you have going on, more than likely, if you can get it through the stomach, you can have this product.
Excellent. Well, we need to just kind of quickly cover all the rest of it, but I did want tonight to be about the Moringa. We have a fantastic product line. So we just talked about the nutrition. Let's quickly hit on to our XM Plus, which is our energy drink. So, Russ, can you explain what you did with that one?
Yeah, XM3, XM Plus. Are you tired of phony hype drinks? We could name all the names. We don't have to. But there's all these drinks out there saying they give you power and energy, and they're full of anhydrous, synthetic, chemically derived, lethal-level caffeine, taurine and guarana, which are carcinogenic and birth defect-inducing, B6 and 12 rendered from the intestines of pigs in slaughterhouses before the rest is macerated as cheap canned pet food. Carcinogenic sweeteners, carcinogenic colorants, carcinogenic flavorants, acidulants, preservatives, stabilizers. Who should be taking those things? Bad people. Maybe the executives marketing it. What I'm telling you, what we have is fundamentally different. We're delivering all the goodness of Moringa plus green tea, garlic, fruit pectin, and other components that allow you to have sustained kinesiological energy, sustained ability to perform better, no cramping and lactic acid buildup. Amino acids defeat slow and fast twitch muscles, better strength, speed, endurance, recovery. XM3 and XM Plus are the real deal. And the proof is there's world records that have been set on it. There are professional teams, collegiate teams, Olympic teams, all using it exceedingly effectively. It's really exciting because, like everything we do at Zija International, it actually works.
Excellent. No, it's a great product. Now, Dr. Ben, we have a weight management system, and I know that is something that you were really excited about because it's something that you have specialized in the past. Can you just quickly touch on the system?
Real quick, like Dr. Pat, there's three major ways that we can lose weight within our body, right? Very few systems touch on all of them, and the most important one is that we reset the hormonal regulation phase of weight control or weight management. This system that we have, the Zija weight management system, it affects every aspect of getting you to turn it on from your basal metabolic rate, in other words, from the brain all the way down, from the nervous system all the way down, hormonal regulation all the way down, all the way into the cellular level to actually get the cells themselves to burn the fat. Then, through the glycation pathway and the gluconeogenesis pathway, to actually stimulate the ability to go into your fat cells and pull out that stored energy in a very natural way so that you actually know how to burn it and don't just squeeze it, and therefore it acts as a sponge that when you go off this diet, so to speak, like most of them, you absorb it back. This actually burns it up, and then the next phase that comes in, for the byproduct of all that degradation or burning of that energy and burning of all that fat, it actually goes through and helps you clean all that up so you get rid of the effects. Most of us know people that have gone on weight loss plans or workout plans, whatever it is, they usually get sick 2 to 3 weeks into the process. Why? Because when you go to either squeeze or burn the energy out of the adipocytes, you're literally burning toxins that make us sick. And when we're utilizing fake foods or fake diet stuff that actually changes the body's ability to handle those very processes, you're weakening the immune system, and then people get sick. Well, as we all know, we're going to find here in about a month when people come around January 1, about 2-3 weeks into it, most of them get sick, they quit dieting. This thing actually works in a way that allows you to actually burn the stored energy, that potential energy that you have in your fat cells, and burn it correctly so that you're not hungry. You have plenty of energy being burned every hour and a half to 2 hours so that you naturally maintain your energy throughout the day, and you burn fat up. And once it's burned up and gone and you've cleaned that system out, it's no longer there. And that's the beauty of it. 25 years of doing bariatric medicine, I have never found anything that matches this, because we get all systems involved, and we get everything to clean it up, from the visceral adiposity to the subcutaneous adiposity. We're working to get rid of that unwanted fat. You don't have to worry about all the extra problems with your skin and all the other cellulites and all that other stuff, because with everything that you have within the system, you're naturally repairing the system. You're not trying to trick it into burning something just to get rid of fat and drop fast weight. You're literally correcting the imbalances from the brain all the way through to the cells.
Yeah, it's an amazing system. Russ, our last component of our company is our skincare. Why? I know you have created many other skincare lines. Why is ours so superior? And I really think it is.
Hypoallergenic. No bad for you things in it like phthalates, silicates, alcohols. There's a long list of things that they claim are not in the other ones that simply are not in this. The proof, again, is evidentiary. Go to russbianchi.com. You can see the testimonies and before, during, and after, time, date, stamp pictures yourself of what Moringa oil and the Gen M line can do for people. I don't care what the condition is, psoriasis, shingles, lacerations, keloids, burns, discoloration, spider bites, toxicity, gun wounds. This stuff restores skin better, more effectively, and sooner than anything I've ever been around. And I've been around major brands in Europe, North and South America, Asia, Australia that I've been involved with. This works better at significantly less cost in a direct referral model. You know, this company expanded on what Ben is talking about a great deal this last year on a simple question, a referral question. Might you happen to know someone who would like to lose some weight permanently at little or no cost? Little if you just want to use it, none if you refer a few folks. This is a brilliant model in terms of real pharma scientific delivery under dietary supplement law in a direct distribution referral model. No capitalization needed, and you simply share with friends what these things do result in and aren't just claims. We are real science, not fiction. So with the skincare line, you are getting a product that is hypoallergenic, generally recognized as safe, compliant, no phthalates, no artificial colors. The list is very long, but does it work, and does it work on all skin groups effectively? The answer is an emphatic yes.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Peck, can I add something to that?
Yes, you can.
Typically when we look at what health is, right, we say that the first line of defense in our bodies is our skin. Okay? Now, inside the body, it's the skin of our plumbing, our pipes on the inside, if you will. But on the outside, the first line of defense is our skin, and we've often thought of it that it was this barrier that was impenetrable. Well, now we know that to not to be true. But what we do know is that the more that we put chemicals on our skin, even though it may not react on our skin, it goes through our skin. And those chemicals can be absorbed through the skin and into the bloodstream. And once they get into the bloodstream, then they can be modified, adapted, or become mutagenic. And that's when they turn and form cancer-causing substances, or they'll combine with other factors that then alter them and change them to become cancer-causing substances. And that's what I love about our skincare line. It doesn't do that. By the time that we're drinking the drinks and we're changing this from the inside and we're putting this stuff on the outside to repair and cleanse our skin, those two meet at the middle where the very aspect of all those things combined to cause that. Well, guess what? One of the biggest things that Moringa Oleifera has is the anti-cancer properties in it. It helps your body defend itself against the outside stuff coming through our skin, and nobody else has that. That's phenomenal.
It sure is. Okay, I'm going to ask both of you this question. Do we have a product that we can take around the world?
Without a doubt, 100%. Everybody needs this, because as we in America have been taking our standard American diet, the SAD diet, everywhere else in the world, you watch, wherever we go and we come in, we modify the food chain, we start seeing degradation of health in that entire country. The people who adapt to our style of eating get sick. And we now can come back in and fix and correct the problems that us and some are not us, but the companies have actually done by going in there. We now have the answer to the problem. It's been here all along. God created this tree many, many millennia ago, and it's been there all along. We now have it in a form that we can take to the world and make it just as easy and as convenient to get something live and vital for our health.
Right.
I would agree with that, and I would also say we are specifying or going to have specific product lines tailored for each culture, too. That's in the works. We can't talk in detail about that, but that's coming. I've been around the world. I've worked in 154 countries in my career. There's no doubt in my mind that this will be a global brand of double-digit billion-dollar revenue. Why? The products work. And they will maintain that thanks to Ken Brailsford's assurances that these aren't going to get dumbed down. This isn't some other company that's some flash-in-the-pan thing, and they're here today and gone tomorrow. We build products with generations in mind. 100 years from now, my great-great-grandchildren will be drinking the exact same beverage I formulated. If I keep drinking it, maybe I'll at least see my great-grandkids. But no doubt in my mind as to where this is going, and it's going to be the single largest direct referral distribution company in the history of the industry.